Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is up and ready. It's week 3 in the NFL. Omar Carmona joins me. I had to talk him off a ledge, but he joined me. Hard loss he took, and we recorded this right after his 49ers lost. The heartbreaker to the heavily bearded Aaron Rodgers. I know, brutal, but he did it. But first, hey, don't forget, coming up October 7th, see me do live stand-up comedy. I'm back at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, October 7th, 10 p.m. show in the main room. FlappersComedy.com is where you go for that. Look it up or hit me up. There's always a way I can get you in there if you let me know. So, opportunity to see me, Patrick Ramirez, do stand-up comedy. Yeah, it'll be fun. Hey, today on the show, we talk week 3 in the NFL, 3-0 teams, 0-3 teams, interesting games, absolutely skippable games, curious wins, curious losses, a round of our questions, as usual, an extra addition to it as well, an either or of NFL quarterbacks. Who would you take? The Sunday NFL MVP of the day, the way too early Coach of the Year award, and of course, we cap it off with legal ramifications, law questions from the authority on it. That's all happening right now on the Sunday Night Talk for a week 3 in the NFL. Myself and Omar Carmona happens right now. It's Sunday night. It's Sunday night. It's the Sunday Night Talk. Look at Carmona. He's already distraught. It's 8:37 West Coast time as we record this. The Packers just edged out the San Francisco 49ers in another wild Sunday night game. A lot of Sunday games were wild today, but what a good cap to the week. Week 3 in the NFL. Okay, week 3. Omar, pull yourself together. Week 3. Is week 3 a tell, a simple appetizer, or ultimately a red herring in the NFL?
I think I think the teams now have had a few weeks to get into a regular practice schedule. We're back. I think that this week is very telling of a lot of teams, and I am, I'm not saying it's over for some teams, or I'm not saying that some teams can dial it in because they're already in the playoffs, but I think it's a very telling team. I think the good teams have now established themselves, and the teams that need a lot of work, they can easily be identified as well.
I feel your emotions right now, having lost a close game, and especially right after. I've spoken to you about how I never want to watch my own team on television sometimes because it's just too much. I can't take it. I can't take watching it. I can't take the text. I can't help thinking the world is against me for every single penalty and play call. Right. Because my team was almost on the losing end of a game they should have won as well. Right. And at some point, I'm just emotionally exhausted. And I say, you know what? Maybe it's okay to just look at the score later and never watch the game. But Let's start with Sunday night. Right off the bat, this is a tale of two Jimmy Garoppolos. He stunk the first half of the game.
Not only parts of the second half. And
right.
It's like he's a different Jimmy drive by drive. You don't know which drive, how he's going to come out. That second to last drive where that he just looked lost out there, that backwards, pass that ended up being a fumble, which, was obviously very helpful to Green Bay. It's painful to watch because you don't know how he's going to come out and enter that huddle.
I texted you at halftime, is this the start of the Trey Lance era? Because he looked so bad, and they put Trey Lance in for the goal line. He scores the touchdown, and I'm thinking, okay, let's just let him play the rest of the game. And then Garoppolo comes out the first drive of the third quarter and looks like an all-pro. And he drives them down, and they get the touchdown. And I'm thinking, I can't figure this guy out. And then exactly like you said, he has a couple drives in that second half where he looks lost. He looks like he's thinking about something dumb. just the look on his face.
Yeah.
He always looks like a step behind, and his backwards fumble pass, he obviously knows it's a fumble, but he's trying to pine for it to be incomplete. But he's lost the ball. And then he has a great drive to take the lead on the pack. And we can't put it all on him. The defense let the Packers offense go down there and get the kick. So Garoppolo is still one of those guys where it's a tale of two Garoppolos.
Right, and but also let's also also call it what it is. We just had a lot of injury problems in our secondary. The 49, I'm obviously referring to the 49ers. When you have Devontae Adams and Scantling and those guys and Aaron Rodgers just flinging the ball over the place, if you're not 100% on your with your defensive backs, it's going to be hard. And then the 49ers just let too many big plays, and the only plays that it seemed like they could make are the ones where there were interference calls on this game.
Yeah.
And that also was a huge factor in tonight's outcome.
I don't know if it's a credit to Rodgers or just the NFL being offensive friendly in general, but it seems, remember the old saying, when you throw the ball, three things can happen and two of them are bad: interception, incompletion, or you can complete it. Nowadays, I think you can flip it. Two things are good: completion, pass interference, or incompletion.
Right.
So I don't know if it's Aaron Rodgers just being good at finding the potential pass interferences, but all the games I watched today seems like we were one in every five passes was pass interference. So
right.
And then speaking of Rodgers, let's give our Rodgers assessment for the game. First of all, in the beginning of the game, he couldn't stop smiling. I don't know who he was talking to, or he was just in a great mood. He couldn't stop smiling. He's doing the thing where he's wearing the do-rag not only under his helmet, but he wears it under his ball cap too, which I think is a gangster / mysterious move that only Aaron Rodgers could pull off. And then I'm watching the post-game interview with Rodgers, and he caps it off perfectly. He's all smiles, and he says to the reporter after the game, "How can you not be romantic about football?"
Yes, I was about to mention that.
Aaron Rodgers is now a poet.
It was an awkward delivery too. It's like he kind of like whispered, and I don't know. He's a different kind of cat, that's for sure.
Yeah, because we spent all offseason thinking he wants to be traded. He doesn't want to play football. He wants to be the host of Jeopardy. And then he seems kind of out of it. They get blown out in week 1. And now we're back to they are who we thought they are. And then Aaron Rodgers drops us some sort of limerick at the end of the game that could very well be on a Hallmark card for all NFL fans. So the mystery is just starting for me with Aaron Rodgers.
It is. So, but hey, it's funny how that this Aaron Rodgers led Packers team has, coming out of the gates, they stumbled to New Orleans, and everyone was talking, let's just write them off right now. They're not a good football team, and here they are 2 in a row, and now we're talking about how the Packers are going to be a threat. So a lot can change within a few weeks in the NFL, that's for sure.
Yeah, the game. It was one of those games where it was super close there, the last 7 minutes of the game. I never felt like this was a good game, though. I watched a bunch of games today, and there was some close games, and this one didn't seem like a close game. It felt like the Packers could pull the string whenever they wanted, and then all of a sudden the Niners were up, and I was like, are they going to steal this game? And now it seems in the NFL, the move is offensively is to have the ball last. If you have the ball and you're in the red zone under 2 minutes, you don't necessarily want to score. You want to see if you can get that clock realistically under 30 seconds. If you leave 45 seconds on the clock with one timeout, no problem. Plenty of time to move the ball, use the middle of the field, use your timeout, hope for a pass interference call. So I think the offense we're so offensive friendly now that you got to start playing to have the ball last. I think Collinsworth said it. It's like you don't want to give serve to Aaron Rodgers.
No, and
such an advantage.
I thought about that when Juszczyk caught that ball, and I was kind of hoping they'd stop him like at the 2-yard line. There was part of me saying, "Gosh, I hope he didn't get in." But he made that last effort. You can't blame a player. Because what if they make a goal line stop? You know what I mean? And so, but you never know. But 37 seconds. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. That's an eternity if they just need a field goal, you know?
Yeah. The other weird thing with offensive these days, we can put the ball anywhere on the field. They can drive any time of the field. And usually when they get inside the 10, when it becomes first and goal, sometimes that seems to be the hardest 7 yards to get. A
Right.
lot of times they can't punch it in because they have such little field to work with. So the offense deals with different circumstances. It used to be, oh, first and goal, it's a shoe in. And now that seems to be hard to get into. Goal line stands, settling for field goals. And then on the flip side, offenses just go for it on fourth and goal now.
Right.
Yeah. What do you feel this game means for the Niners, though? Was this a good showing? I don't even know if it is. I'm totally neutral.
I think that it means that I would like to see Trey Lance getting a few more snaps during a game. I think if the question is are we ready for the Trey Lance era? I think the fan base is, but football wise, I don't think so. I don't think we've had enough sample set of Trey Lance to say here are the keys to the franchise. You know what I mean? So but I would like to, we got to get better, and and it's gonna start on defense. We got to play better defense. I don't think we sacked Aaron Rodgers. I'll check on that. I'll double check. But tonight's game, we didn't sack him. There was some pressure. Bosa can't do it all himself. Let's see where the 49ers go from here. And hey, how about now that we're moving on, the Rams? I mean, that are they arguably the best team in the NFL right now?
Right. I have a bunch of 3-0 questions. This is what's great about week 3 is now we get a little barometer. Who was good, who was bad, who got lucky, who's being consistent. So I think ultimately third week in the NFL is now it's game on. I think so. The third week is I'm going to say it was an appetizer. We know what's coming up for the main course now. Sometimes we see some changes. Some teams that start hot don't always carry it on. I call that the Russell Wilson effect. And so I'm going to go with it's a pleasant appetizer, week 3 in the NFL.
I say that's a very good point. And we had some great games today. Great game today. This wasn't the only great game we were able to watch today.
Yeah, I had before we go to the big picture questions this week, here's my must-watch. I had 4 must-watch games this week. In the early games, I had must-watch Chicago at Cleveland, LA Chargers at KC. One of those games ended up being good. Then I had Tampa Bay at the LA Rams, and then I had Miami at Las Vegas. So those were my must-watches of the week. I watched pretty close to most of those games. And then a couple absolute skips were
Falcons Giants. I skipped on that.
Falcons Giants was my skip game for sure.
Oh, Broncos Jets. That was a terrible game.
That was a skip game. Kudos to the Broncos for scheduling the easiest possible schedule.
3-0
for their 3 weeks. Let's go big picture though. A couple things this week came out in the NFL. Number one, I thought you would like this Super Wild Card Weekend, which NFL, we have one extra team in Wild Card now. Announced we're going to have a Saturday game, a Sunday game, and a Monday night game.
Patrick, I said last year I'd like to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Mm-hmm. One game a day, sure.
One game a day. That means we would not have football Tuesday night and Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I know every wife in America would probably detest this rule. I mean, or this schedule, this format, if you will. But I just think I think that slowly but surely the NFL is moving along to making this week round, every day, like baseball. You get a baseball game every day. If you're a true blue baseball fan, you have something to watch every day.
Yeah, I don't even have a wife, and I know she would hate me. But that's not football related. It kind of seems like if baseball is a soap opera, football is a blockbuster movie. Baseball is every day, day in, day out. You watch it, you keep tabs on things, and then football is a major event. But going Monday night, I think it makes sense. I think Monday night for a playoff game is new and exciting. and we got an extra team anyway in the playoffs now. So makes sense. And this is one step towards the NFL just globalizing the week, saying we're doing something every day of the week. Because we got
Right.
Thursday. Thursday is commonplace now. Sunday is the day. We always have Monday night. Why not make Monday night some playoffs? It almost kind of feels like we might have a March Madness feel to the play.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, every day you tune in. Who's playing who? Okay, tomorrow who's playing who? Oh, they won. Okay, they're moving on. So I'm for it. It's gonna feel weird, but I'm gonna be down with this Monday night.
That'd be nice. That's that'd be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Also, it might help to the most boring playoff game always is that wild card Saturday early game. It might offset that and making that Saturday game evening, and then you can
Yes,
sort of
but
that's always the
yeah,
most skippable game.
yes, but I think the Motor City Miracle happened on the early Saturday game, so you don't want
Yeah,
to miss
that's
that
true.
either.
There's a few exceptions to that rule. That's right. That's right. That was the magical Bills season, or sorry, the magical Titans season.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
Yes.
there were some other games. Um, what? Wow, the Raiders are they just gonna are they just gonna give Raiders fans heart attacks? Every game now. I mean, are they like the new cardiac kids where, every game seems to be going down to the wire? And what a game that was!
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes for that game. Can Vegas go 3-0? Question mark. Slow start. Carr throws a pick six, and they have to build from a 14-0 lead. My new favorite player is Hunter Renfro because he
He's so
scores a
good.
touchdown, and he doesn't even celebrate. He's a total like third down slot receiver. I'm lucky to be here guy. He's halfway bald. He's probably 24 years old. He's my. If I'm gonna buy a jersey, I think I'm going Hunter Renfro this year. I'm going number 13.
If I
And
were a
then
Raiders fan, Waller would be my guy.
Waller is our blue chipper. Yes, he is the go-to. He's strong. He's jumping over people. He catches bad balls.
Yeah,
And then lastly, Oakland or not Oakland, Las Vegas is looking for reasons to lose this game.
really.
It was the classic Raiders game, and in some weird reason, I said it last week, we're falling ass backwards into wins, whereas in the past we would fall ass backwards into losses. This
Right.
game last year, remember this game last year? I watched it at your house. The Raiders lost from a silly face mask penalty that
Right.
the Dolphins won. So all that being said, the Raiders I think they had a 15-point lead at one point, and Miami still has a shot. They have backup QB Jacoby Brissett, 4th and 9, throws an absolute rope to convert 4th and 9. And then not only that, they're trying to engineer the game tying touchdown. On third down, he gets stuffed. They have no
Right.
timeouts. He gets the offense back on the line, lines them up, no procedure penalty, takes the ball, runs a QB sneak, scores a touchdown,
Right.
scores the
Unreal.
2-point conversion. And then lastly, he has a 4th and 20 in overtime, converts a 4th and 20 with a great pass to their tight end. I don't know how Vegas wins this game.
No,
You,
but what a great game.
they give them a reason to win this game. And then lastly, Vegas has the ball the last possession. They just need a field goal. They're inside the 10 and they're still running run plays.
Right.
Like there's no reason to milk the clock. Last score wins. They did this really odd play. It's third down. Derek Carr takes the snap and he takes a knee. He doesn't like move the ball to the center. I was like, "What? Kick the ball on third down then." So I don't fully understand. It's almost like they wanted one more reason to get the field goal blocked or botch the snap or something. But Vegas 3-0.
Yeah, huge. Hey, Vegas 3-0 and Broncos 3-0. I don't think that's going to stay much longer. I remember we always talked about that one team that starts 3-0, 4-0,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, you blink and they're 4-5.
I'm hoping that's the Broncos because it seems like America has been forced the Broncos for close to 15
And
years.
and remind me, who's in last place in that division right now?
Let's talk about it. That was my must-watch, LA Chargers at Kansas City. I texted you early in the day. I could see a world where the Chargers win this game.
And it
So
happened.
kind of just kind of a throw it out there like a pretend that I'm rooting for the Chargers text. But lo and behold, they win. Is this panic alert time for KC?
No, maybe here. My question is, can you have a Super Bowl hangover after you win a Super Bowl, then the next year go to a Super Bowl and lose? Is this the ultimate Super Bowl hangover?
It's kind of
Um,
like if you got drunk the next morning, you had a hangover, got better, and then the next day you had another hangover. The Chiefs look strange right now. I can't figure it out. That was another game where the Chargers tried to give that game away in the end. But
right,
the Chiefs are throwing odd interceptions. They're fumbling the ball way too much in the last two games. The Chiefs look like. Do you remember in Superman 4 when Superman got like a cold
yeah,
and he
yes,
and he
yes,
was he was still in the Superman outfit, but he like tried to like hold up a building, but he couldn't do it anymore. That's what the Chiefs look like to me. They're moving
right,
fast. They're dodging tackles and stuff. Yet they fumble the ball, or Mahomes does a weird interception, very un-Mahomes like. And
right,
yet the Chargers tried to give this game away. They had an illegal shift penalty in this game
right.
that took away a touchdown. That took away a touchdown in the game against Dallas as well the week before. So somehow the Chargers fell ass backwards into this win.
Right.
And then
But
I hear this story. Andy Reid gets taken to the hospital after the game. I didn't hear his diagnosis or anything, but I'm a little bit. I'm tapping the panic button on the Chiefs right now. I'm
well,
nervous.
they're saying it. Obviously we don't know the truth. Whatever information they're putting out, but they're saying it was dehydration. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, who knows what's going on there? Hey, it's not like Andy Reid's been in the most stellar shape of since he's been coaching.
I'm almost surprised this doesn't happen more often. Some of these coaches are not in great shape. They're
No.
high. They have super high stress jobs. They're on the field in the sun,
Well,
moving around.
is that the move? We talk about what are you supposed to do? The coach. How do you feel about the coach that's running stadiums pre-game? They show up. It's like 8 in the morning, and they're running like maniacs up and down the stadiums or running laps around the field. How do you feel about those coaches?
That's true. We have simultaneously an era in football where we have the most fit coaches right next to the most out of shape coaches.
Yeah, it's
We
like
had
you
the
don't see Andy Reid. You never saw Bill Parcells or Mike Holmgren. Run around.
Nope, that's true. And yet the Packers coach and the 49ers coach look like these two dudes do triathlons on the weekends.
Oh yeah,
Both
and
like these fit young
Solly,
dudes.
Solid for the Jets. He works out, and I saw the Bears. I'm sorry, the Browns coach was running around pregame. Just interesting. It's an interesting take.
Yeah, we have both super out of shape coaches and super in shape coaches at the same time.
Right.
And Andy Reid has to go to the hospital after his loss. That was rough. I'm worried for Andy Reid now. He's in bad health.
Yep. So.
My other must watch, Tampa Bay at Rams. Not
Oh man.
a fun game to watch. It ended up not being that close of a game,
No.
but that was a fun game. I like this stat that I think every single pregame show did, every reporter did, every team covering the game did. This is Tom Brady's first time playing a game in L.A. L.A. hasn't had a team in 20 years.
Right.
This isn't exactly a story.
Yeah.
It's fun to
It's
say,
not. It's
but
not.
hasn't been a team there in 20 plus years.
Right.
So why don't we just say like, oh, this is Tom Brady's first trip to Boulder, Colorado. Oh, this is Tom
Right.
Brady's first. He's never been to Topeka before. So it was a story that kind of sounded good, yet didn't really make that much sense when you look into it. However,
Right.
kind of fun. Tom Brady in LA. Tom Brady still has a rocket arm, but a lot of drops in that first half.
Really. And he was without Antonio Brown, who has surprisingly been very consistent, very quiet. Just letting his play do all the talk for him. But that I don't think that was helpful to Tom. But hey, look, they stumbled a few times last year too, and it doesn't seem like these things. When you win 7 Super Bowls and you've lost big games, you got to have a short memory, right? Because you got to go out there the next week and, hey, he's got to play in New England next week. where I hear that seats right now, a regular $300 seat is now selling into the thousands for a regular season NFL football game in New England. That, my friend, is going to be must watch TV.
That's already on my must watch. NBC did a good job of hyping up the game for next week too. I was ready for the game to start as soon as the San Francisco game ended. I was like, just play it right now. Just send him in right now. I want to see the fans. I want to see the reception. I want to see his eyes when he runs out of the
Let me
tunnel.
ask you this. I want you to think back in history, and there have been, several handshakes or hugs at post game. Okay, can you think of
Yeah.
one that's going to be more watched or more anticipated than the Belichick Brady exchange? I think we should put bets on it.
Hmm.
Because Belichick has a history of blowing people off for the
Yeah.
big exchange. Okay, remember the Rex Ryan exchanges? Who was the coach that he had? Mangini? Was it
Mangini's
Mangini
the one
years
I can
ago
think of. Yeah, where it
that
was a
that
quick.
he just blew him off? But then like the very next game they played, he got upset at a reporter that was in his way, and then he just like
Yeah.
shoved
That's
the
right.
cameraman out of the way, and then he gave Mangini a big hug. Um,
Right, that was a good one. And then there was the Harbaugh brothers. Always was a highly anticipated handshake. What was the one? There was one. I was one of the Harbaugh brothers where he shook hands with a coach, but he wasn't quite happy with the
Jim
handshake.
Shorts. It was the Lions Jim Shorts.
Oh,
And I think that he shook his hand, really didn't look at him, and he was moving. And I think Harbaugh just wanted to celebrate with his team, and he kind of slapped Jim Shorts on the back of the on the
oh
back.
yeah, that was it. That was
And,
it.
and Shorts took exception and then caught up to him before he made it to the locker room.
Coach handshakes.
There's been exchanges, when Peyton was back in Indianapolis, but it's not like anybody on the field, remove, Eli and Peyton, Tom Brady and Peyton handshakes have always been, watched closely, and I'm sure when Steve Young and Joe Montana, met the first
Oh
time in a
yeah, that would
regular
have been a good
season, I'm
one.
sure that would have been a great one. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I gotta see if did they play were they able to play against each other.
Hmm.
That would have been
Right, they
interesting.
must have. Right, I remember a Brett Favre going home in the Vikings uniform
Oh, they were in the
game,
Vikings, yeah. So
so
they
they
had
would
to
have.
play. So and
Right,
so
best
you know,
handshakes.
Ben, we got to look into that. Let's explore that for next week,
Yeah.
and we will rate the Tom Brady Bill Belichick. But yeah, how about this? Will there even be an exchange
Oh, okay. Hold on, I'm gonna write this down. Okay,
or
so our potentials as of right now, um,
hug?
handshake, hug. I'm gonna write down hug. Um, no handshake.
No, nothing. No acknowledgement. Nothing. Or
No handshake. Parentheses. No acknowledgement.
or a wave,
A wave. Wow, that's got to be a 25 to one on a
yeah.
wave.
Or if let's say is it Michelle Tafoya if she's interviewing Tom, asking him at post game how the game goes, and does Bill Belichick just walk by him and slap him on the ass?
Oh, oh. You know what would be good too? My okay, Michelle Tafoya is interviewing Tom Brady post game. Belichick interrupts the interview and they pull away and they have kind of like a 2 minute exchange and the camera's on him. We can't really get the audio, but essentially the interview's over. He ends the interview. I always hate it when the player's doing the interview and then someone interrupts them to say good game and they have to pull away from the interview. I always feel like the player would be like, dude, I'm doing an interview right now. Can you wait 2 seconds to
Yeah,
say good
yeah.
game to me?
Or how about this for conspiracy theorists? Does Bill Belichick and Tom Brady get on a phone call sometime this week and discuss what they're gonna do?
Oh, do you think there's any contact between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't
I
think
don't
so
think so.
either. I think they're cordial, but I don't think there's contact. I don't think there's happy birthday texts. I don't think there's any, hey, you had a good game text. What do you think this game is though for Tom Brady? Is this a revenge game? Is this a coming home game? They're both coming off of losses, so they're going to be amped up. And also, like, can we say this is a revenge game for Bill Belichick too?
Yeah, right.
Revenge, redemption, get the win game, coming home game. I have a lot of anticipation for this game coming up. I think the fans will cheer for him. I don't see them booing Tom Brady.
Nope.
I don't see that
No,
at all.
I don't see that. That will not happen.
All right, we're gonna closely watch the handshake. I'm giving like 3-1 odds. It's just gonna be a camera media scrum as they come to midfield to shake hands.
Yeah, that's gonna happen too.
There's no way. Yeah, there's not 50 camera on the field mauling them, and they're gonna have a hard time getting to each other. Gonna have a hard time getting out. I say they do the like in the movie Warrior, where they just hug each other and they go to the locker room together. and I could see Tom Brady protecting Bill Belichick from all the lights and cameras that are kind of hitting his head. So it kind of becomes like a father-son, but the son is now protecting the father situation.
Wishful thinking on your part.
Maybe so. That might be the movie happy ending. Last thing I have on the Tampa Bay Rams game, Brady has no defense. The Rams are just throwing the ball all over Tampa Bay.
I just think that that's more a credit to McVay's offense. I don't know what defense can stop McVay's offense. And doesn't Matt Stafford look like he's like 28 years old right now? And he's just having fun. He's running up and down the sidelines. He's got that like Michael Jordan kind of like, wow, I don't know how I just did that, but I did that, And,
he had that one play where I don't know if it was a broken play or what, but he pretended to hand it off, and then he realized it was a pass play, and he threw it, and it was still complete for 3 yards, and he did he kind of rolled his eyes and did this. So if we're keeping tabs on the wife swap of Goff or Stafford way up, Goff way down.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Anything else on Tampa Bay Rams?
No, the Rams look good. They're scary good.
Was this a preview of the NFC Championship, do you think? Rams Bucks?
Could be.
I could see that. I could see the Bucks running through everybody and the Rams just keeping their foot on the gas.
Could be.
Packers question mark in there, but other game I found interesting, Baltimore-Detroit. We had the weird field goal at the end of the game that hits the crossbar and goes in.
66 yards to win a game.
This is the second week in a row that Lamar pulls off this miraculous win.
I know.
For his team. And then we haven't had a controversial call yet, but this might be a slight one. The non-delay a game call in that game was big. New Orleans at New England. I just wrote in my notes, Winston's back. New Orleans 28, New England 13. Is Winston back, or is he just going to be like the stock market? 1 week, super high. The next week, huge crash. The next week, super high. The next week, huge crash.
But wasn't that kind of like the way things were in Tampa? I mean, it always seems like sometimes there's flashes of greatness, but sometimes you're like, man, this guy doesn't belong on anybody's roster right now,
I think so. I think we're just going to have 30 touchdowns, but 30 interceptions. 28 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. It's a hard loss for New England. That's why I think next week is so huge for them. For Tampa Bay, too. Those were my watchables. Any other games that you liked this week?
Well, they were we think we pretty much talked about the ones, and we can move on. I think we got some.
Buffalo's hot again.
But what's great about the AFC right now? You got two undefeated teams, and I don't want to jump in. We're going to be talking about how these teams are, but we got 3-0, 3-0 teams, right? Do I have that right? Raiders and Broncos are the only
AFC,
3-0. Yeah, and then you've got, but arguably, can you make the argument that the best teams are either the 2-1 Bills, 2-1 Ravens, okay, 2-1 Titans, right?
Yeah.
and then you got maybe who people think is the best team is 1-2 in the Kansas City Chiefs. So
Hmm.
it's wide open. That
Yeah,
AFC is wide
we're
open.
still wide open. Yeah, it's kind of like we're in the first two rounds of a heavyweight fight, and we got a couple of teams scored a 10-8 round. A couple of teams went, a 9-10 round. So still lots of shakeup to go. The schedule is going to show itself. I got Buffalo is hot now. Buffalo seemed to
Yeah.
have found his stride. Week one was just essentially week three of preseason for them. So they weren't really on it yet, and now Buffalo is starting to hit the gas. Who else won? Atlanta got a win today.
Right.
Cincinnati got a win. Pittsburgh looks awful. And Arizona got a win today as well that I have a few questions about. Minnesota surprised. Somehow Minnesota does this every year where we think Minnesota's bad and then they win 3 games in a row and they force us to talk about them.
Right.
Every year. Every
How about,
year they did this.
how about the Bengals are 2-1?
Bengals are 2-1, looking good. Beat Pittsburgh as they should have. Second year QB watch on the Bengals.
Wow. And then that receiver that had the drops, now he's, Jamar Chase is, I think 4 touchdowns in 3 games. I don't know if I have that right, but wow, he's playing lights out as well.
Well, before we get to the questions of the week, rank me your top 5 QBs now that we've done week 3. I got my top 5. I narrowed it down from 10, and I'm still not happy with my list, but I got a top 5.
I'm gonna start from 5 on. I want to say
From
number
5 to 1.
five
Okay,
is
let's see if we have the same.
I got Justin Herbert, number 5. Okay, I love him. I love my guy.
Yes.
Okay, got Dak Prescott, number 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Mahomes is number 3. Tom Brady is number 2. And I want to stay with my guy, Josh Allen, number 1.
Oh, wow. So you went number 1 and number 5, Allen, Brady, Mahomes, Dak, Herbert. Here's mine. Number 1, I stuck with Tom Brady. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Matt Stafford. Didn't even make your top 5. Number 4, Josh Allen. And number 5, I went Derek Carr.
Oh, I give that. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I went from 10 on down. I had Baker as my number 10. I had Dak number 9, and I might have shortchanged Rodgers. I think he should be in the top 5 in there somewhere.
And maybe I'm too fixated on Herbert, but you're right. I mean, I think Stafford's playing much better ball than even Justin Herbert. I just think the upside on Herbert's just, the sky's the limit for that guy, in my opinion. But you're right. I think Stafford, he's easily a top 3 quarterback right now.
He's on such fire. It just seems like him and Sean McVay are total like brothers out there, and they're calling every play they love. Every fourth down they go for works. And it just seems they're on fire right now. At that true test where they lose a game and how they bounce back, I'm really curious to see how they do. LA Rams. I didn't look who they play next week, but they look so sharp against Tampa Bay. Either Tampa Bay's defense sucks or the Rams are just on fire
Right.
on offense. They couldn't defend Cooper Kupp at all. And then when he catches it, it's like, oh, here's another 7 yards for you. Let's go to the questions. Okay, question number 1. If the season ended today, I got our division leaders. If the season ended today, I still have division leaders Denver and Las Vegas are leading. And I think we give it to Vegas. Weak schedule
Okay.
for Denver. Vegas takes it. On the NFC side, if the division ended today, I'm scared to death of the Packers. It
Oh
seems like
well, yeah.
it seems like they find a way to win games, no matter if there's 4 minutes left to go or there's 35 seconds.
My opinion though is, the Cardinals are playing great football right now. Kyler Murray is fantastic. He's got his weapons. I think the team that comes out of that NFC West, and as much as I love my, I mean, they are I think the third best team in that division right now, and I think they're comfortably behind the Rams, and I would give the Cardinals the edge on them too. But if the season ended today, I'm still gonna stick with Tom Brady. I'm sticking with Tom Brady.
Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl? Tom Brady making it to the NFC Championship?
Tom Brady.
Another ring?
Another
wow.
ring.
That is definitely if the season ended today. That's I don't know how I feel about that, and yet I think you have an argument. I think you have a definite argument. Okay, way too early. Question number 2, way too early. I'm going to give you the 3-0 teams, and I give you the 0-3 teams. 3-0 teams: Carolina, Arizona, Denver, Las Vegas, LA Rams. Of those 3-0 teams, who's going to the playoffs, who's not going to the playoffs?
Okay, I think every team that you just listed will be going to the playoffs for the except 2 teams. Broncos and Panthers will not be in the playoffs.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, 0-3 teams: Jacksonville, Indianapolis, New York Giants, Detroit, New York Jets. Which of those teams turns it around and makes the playoffs, if any? First of all, any surprises there?
No, and I don't think there's any team that's going to do it. I think those teams specifically need to be start looking at Mel Kiper's draft board to see who they should be thinking about at number 1.
Who's our write-off team? Who are we just giving up on right now? Put all your money on it. They're not making the playoffs.
Well, I've been saying the last couple of years we've been doing this. It's the Jets.
Jets are out.
Jets. They're terrible. They're awful.
Didn't you love the Jets uniforms at one point, though?
Love them.
Maybe that's the kiss of death when someone compliments your uniforms. When they're like, oh, great uniforms, though. It's kind of like the comedian version of when someone says, hey, you're a good writer. It's kind of a backhanded insult. Hey, he's a good writer, though. Never a compliment. I'm holding out hopes that Jacksonville puts together 3 wins in a row just to feel good about themselves, and then they build for next year. I don't know why I'm secretly rooting for Jacksonville this year.
Nice. Well, I don't think they're going anywhere, but fine.
I just want them to win some games in a row just to feel better about themselves. Otherwise, I have no interest in any of those other teams at all. Okay, question number 3. This is the Make Me Angry segment. I have an argument to make you angry right now. And I feel bad because you're already in a bad mood. But my Make Me Angry argument this week is San Francisco goes on the road, wild card weekend, loses to Arizona.
Right now, the way they're playing, I can't argue. It's making me angry, but I can't argue against it. I think that's
Right.
Again, it's a very tough division, and but it could be any number of teams. It could be the us going to Lambeau and losing wild card weekend of the Packers. It could be a team like Jameis Winston making me very angry, and the
God, make me angry.
Right? Yeah. So
who's the most hated team you would not want to lose to? Wild card weekend. Who's the one that's just going to be like, I don't want to play this team. I don't want to go on the road to them. I hate
Cowboys. Cowboys. It's Cowboys for me. But
I forgot about that. That one. I forgot to add that one. Yes.
I've had that attitude since I was a kid. So no, I do not want to lose to the Cowboys on wild card weekend.
Do you hate the Cowboys? Is that your Denver Broncos to me?
You know what's funny about that is, and especially, your dad and your Uncle Ray, they're so complimentary. Like, it's so funny because I see your Uncle Ray at a golf tournament, and he says, "Wow, hey, I hope the 49ers do well this weekend." And then I saw your dad, and hey, big game. I hope they squeak out a win. And I'm like, I never compliment your Cowboys because I don't want them to win. Like, they're so nice about it, but like I never turn it around and say, "Hey, yeah, good luck to you too." Like, no, fly a kite. I hate the Cowboys.
In fairness to my dad doesn't watch football. My dad is a peripheral fan, yet you would never know it. He has done multiple times. He'll go to the TV. Hey, what's the score? Oh, 2017. All right. Who's playing? He does that move so many times, but he cheers super loud and then he asks questions later. That's how he is. So in argument to my dad, he didn't know who you were playing anyway.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. Make me angry.
Well, I think what um, the 109 kickoff missed field goal return from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, that's going to be their only. You said you were rooting for the Jaguars. That'll be the only highlight of the season. Okay.
All right. Well, it doesn't make me that angry, but yeah, I could very well see that. It's also a tell when your highlights are all special teams that you have a bad team.
Oh yeah, horrible.
It's like, hey, did you do that kick return? Oh yeah, we still lost 27-0. Well, good kick return though. He's a good rider though.
Yeah.
Okay, next category. Franchise, 1-year deal, or send to the practice squad. I'm going to give you 3 1 and 2 teams, and you tell me which one gets each one. Okay. New England, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Franchise, 1-year deal, practice squad. Which team gets which?
I'm franchising obviously because I think the Mahomes team, they're not done. They're 1 and 2, they're down, they're not done. When it's all said and done, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they're going to have some say in how the playoffs shape out for the AFC, okay? 1-year deal, I want to give a 1-year deal to the New England Patriots because they are, they're still, best coach in league history. Mac Jones, everyone's raving about him and how much he prepares and studies and how much the team seems to really adapt to him. Send to the practice squad. I saw a TikTok of Ben Roethlisberger falling by himself. No one was anywhere near touching him. And not only did he fall, but as he was falling, he threw it away. He wasn't avoiding a sack. It was like there was like an invisible 12th man out there that was grabbing his leg. And it's like, yeah, I think that team, they got some young talent, which that Najee.
They really do. They really do have talent on there, and yet they can't get it done at all.
That Alabama rookie, Najee Harris, he caught 14 balls today. Chase Claypool, a stud receiver. Washington, they got some good young TJ Watt. The talent's there. I just think now that, and it probably should have happened a year or two ago, but it now seems like doesn't it look like the Steelers are on that same trajectory as the Giants were with Eli? It's kind of like you hate to see the good time end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And both quarterbacks brought their historic franchises 2 big Super Bowls, but at the same time, at what point do we say it's over?
Right.
It's over,
Right. I think we've done that with every single team at some point. You're like, uh-oh, Kurt Warner, this is his last year. Uh-oh, Eli Manning. Oh, we did it with Tony Romo. Oh, this is it. This is getting a little sad.
Right.
It happens with every franchise player.
Right. And that's why when you look at quarterbacks like Elway and Manning, you're envious of them because they left on top. The last thing that we saw them do on the field was hoist the Super Bowl trophy, and
yeah,
and not everyone can do that.
You know what I like when players retire? I like when they hold the press conference and they say, I always told myself when it stopped being fun, I would walk away. And I was like, how many jobs I've had where the first day I said, this isn't fun.
Right.
What a world where, you know what? I'm not having any fun anymore. I quit.
Yeah, I want to walk away.
You know what? This retail job that I'm working on Saturdays, I always told myself that I would walk away when it stopped being fun, and it's 10 a.m. and it's not fun anymore. I think
that's where we're at.
I think Ben Roethlisberger is one bad loss away from becoming a really silly meme. Remember the Michael Jordan crying face that everybody was putting on people? If Ben Roethlisberger trips over something, he's going to become a meme. And that's how that's a sign of the end.
Right.
Okay, on my 1-year franchise practice squad, I agreed with you on Pittsburgh, practice squad all the way, but I'm flipping my New England and KC. I'm halfway thinking, remember how we thought the St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf, was a franchise in the waiting?
Right.
I'm thinking KC, the bloom is off the rose on KC, and I'm going to give them the 1-year deal. And New England, I'm going to give them the franchise. Young team, new talent. Bill Belichick still has a run in him. So
Okay.
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna zig when you zagged, and I'm gonna go franchise me New England. Pittsburgh, send them away. And Casey, you're on a 1-year deal.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
one more addition to our category. I'm going either or for you. Choose one right now. Dak Prescott or Lamar Jackson. Who do you take?
Ooh, right now, Dak Prescott. I think he's playing some pretty good football. And again, I'm just as Lamar Jackson was close with the Lions today. He needed an NFL record last second field goal to beat the Lions today. Okay,
It's
and
true.
I talked to you last week. The turnovers was scaring me about Lamar. So right now I'm taking Dak Prescott.
Okay. Next, either or. Baker or Kyler?
Kyler,
Going Kyler.
superior
Why?
quarterback. Going
Superior?
Kyler. I just think he's a superior quarterback. Yeah, I sometimes think
Sometimes,
Baker takes too many risks. He shouldn't.
yeah, sometimes I think like they killed the Bears, but I don't think the Bears are any good. Sometimes I think Baker's leadership qualities overshadow his bad play. Because he's on the sideline, he's cheering everybody on, he's hitting everybody on the butt, and you can't help but be like, "This guy's a leader. This guy's gonna fight for the team." Yet I
Right.
don't know if he has the skills to back up that leadership. Whereas Kyler Murray might just be pure skill. He can put the ball
Right.
anywhere, and he's just getting better. He's just getting better
Absolutely.
every week. Okay, let's go to the awards. This week, the awards Sunday MVP. Who do you got?
My Sunday MVP, he played a brilliant game. Matt Stafford, he was just awesome today. And there were some great quarterback performances this year, and this week. I thought Kyler, Herbert, all these guys did really well. But it's got to be Matt Stafford today.
For the Sunday MVP. Good choice. I went for my Sunday
And
MVP.
another one. I'll give you another choice. Devon Adams. That guy was scary good tonight for the Packers.
That's a good addition. Yeah, he really bailed them out and gave Aaron Rodgers a weapon pretty much anywhere on the field. Pulled out a great win. I went for my Sunday
Right.
MVP, just LA football teams. LA Chargers, huge win going into KC.
Good win.
LA Rams, huge win against defending champs. So great time to be an LA NFL fan right now. Rams and Chargers. You have the Chargers future with Justin Herbert, although I think 75% of the city still doesn't know they're in LA. And then LA Rams, Stafford. It's kind of like a fresh start. We got Stafford, he's got a rocket arm. And we always knew the Rams were good, but they were just kind of on a simmer last year. They just couldn't get over any humps. They lost every close game. So I'm going Sunday MVP as LA football teams. Too
Okay.
early coach of the year. Too early
Wow.
coach of the year. I'm going, stick with me on this one. Cliff Kingsbury, Arizona Cardinals coach, is going to win coach of the year.
I'm not gonna fault you too much for that one. I think he's doing a great job. I think the Cardinals are starting to believe in themselves there. So I'm gonna go. That's a good pick. But I said Bengals, but I was thinking Zach Taylor. For the Cincinnati Bengals. If they can string along some wins, maybe they'll turn some heads because with the Steelers down, the Browns, not looking, too great. The Bengals could possibly make some waves in that division.
Couple questions with coach of the year. Along with, then I have a follow-up question to most improved player of the year. But coach of the year, it's a limited choice because Bill Belichick will never win coach of the year.
No,
John Gruden will never get coach of the year. So
John
if you're
John Harbaugh may never get Coach of the Year again.
Harbaugh may never get. So if you want to be a candidate for coach of the year, you have to be young. You have to coach a team that is essentially under 500 the year previous. So it's a weird award to win because coach of the year just goes to whoever wins the Super Bowl. Obviously, who's the coach of the year? This guy who won the Super Bowl.
Right.
So it's a weird award, and same with most improved player, because you have to say like you suck last year and then this year you didn't suck as much and now you get most improved. So it's kind of an award insult to those two awards. Anytime there's voting, your award is inherently flawed.
Right.
But there's probably three coaches in the running for coach of the year, and that's about it. But I'm going Cliff Kingsbury. It's got to
That's
be a
nice.
team on the brink.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, coach of the year. That was our week 3 Sunday night talk breakdown, but don't worry because now we're going into the category that everybody loves, legal ramifications with Omar Carmona,
There you go.
my general counsel. Okay, this week I've been following the story of the missing Gabby Patino.
Petito.
I got a ton of questions, law enforcement questions, timeline questions, attorney-client privilege questions. But let me just ask you this, as a lawyer, when does someone go from a person of interest to a suspect in the eyes of the law?
Well, in reality, there really is no legal definition of, what is a person of interest.
That's what I'm finding out, that this is just
There
sort of a
really
made-up term to hey, I got to talk to
It
you.
is, but detectives do think that way, okay? And you're gonna think on a lot of these crimes, the person that commits the crime, needs an opportunity, and so a lot of times the people with the best opportunities to commit these crimes are people that are known to the victim, okay? So obviously, when somebody dies, the first question, and I don't want to speak for detectives, but one question that they ask is, well, who had access to this person? Who knew this person? So they have to, I think that that's on the level of a person of interest. What's siblings, spouses, significant others, co-workers. These are people that they're going to be interested in just getting to know. Okay, now once the investigation comes to light, it's, hey, we think that the neighbor heard gunshots at about 8 p.m. And guess what? There was a cell phone ping from a certain cell phone tower to their address at 8 p.m. And there was some angry text messaging going on also in the hours leading up to the shooting. Now we're thinking possible person of interest moving up to suspect because this guy also bought a gun a week before, which turns out to be the same gun that was used, the same type of gun that was used in the shooting. So I think it starts off as we got to see who we're interested in, who we're interested in looking at, talking to, and then once those, I guess qualifications are made, once they start building up the case, now we have suspects.
Yeah. It seems like he was a suspect from the start, but they were waiting for some form of evidence or something that they could
Yeah,
go on. Because
just because somebody sees them are yelling at each other on the side of the road, yeah, it doesn't mean that the guy committed murder, you know. Um, but now we're hearing some things that maybe I think on this case, their cell phone towers. I mean, you'd like to you'd think that they were communicating um, by cell phone because they were living that van life, right? Where people with no jobs just seem to travel,
van
in
life.
a van,
Yeah.
which
Let's get
seems
a van, dude. Let's
you know,
let's you and me
these
get a
people,
van.
these people seem to drink wine and eat well, which is, fascinating to me. Like, how does that even happen? Like, I think that if I were just to leave town in a van for like 48 hours, I'd probably end up like broke, hungry, and back home.
In 48 hours, you're broke, hungry, and back home.
Yeah.
I think they were on the road for 4 months. I think
Well,
the
it's
van
insane to
life
me that people
was.
can do that with their time.
Yeah, what a time to be broke. Never been a better time to be poor in this world. You can still do anything. You can still have internet. You can still make internet videos. You can drive in a van. So it was, yeah, so he's a person of interest. And then what does that say to law enforcement or to lawyers when the person doesn't want to speak to the authorities? First of all, can you just not speak to the authorities? Can you
You
say like,
can. You can piss
really?
off. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean that the authorities aren't going to still be hot to trot to find more information out on you. So you gotta that's an interesting play. When you say, piss off, I'm not going to talk to you. But yeah, you don't have to talk to anybody.
What if you're a suspect? At what point do you have to talk? Do you ever have to talk and you sit there silent the whole time?
You could. You
Really?
could. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
I guess
not?
no one can force words out of your mouth.
No.
Okay, well,
So,
what about this? When does the family when do they start become accused of obstructing justice? If the family doesn't want to talk and say where he is, and they were the last people to see him, and they're just stonewalling the authorities, when are they obstructing justice?
well, did you ever see the video? And it was in the days after OJ, the Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman murders, that there was a suitcase, I believe it was, or some sort of bag that Kardashian had, and that
Right.
he walked out of OJ's place with it, and it was kind of like placed somewhere conveniently for someone else to grab, and obviously Kardashian, and the theory is that maybe the weapon, or the clothing, OJ's clothing, that he was wearing during that was there, you know
Right.
um and so when you're hiding things like that, like evidence, and just basically obstructing an investigation by police, by law enforcement, that is obstructing justice.
So is the family obstructing justice at all in the fact that they're not saying where he is, or where maybe they
If
don't
I
have.
wouldn't say go that far, but like, let's say they're sending him money, trying to wire him money, that could be a problem.
Okay. Well, what about this though? Okay, the lawyer, they have a lawyer, the family, and at some point I think, say, is the lawyer in contact with the guy who's missing, the Brian Laundrie guy? And if so, he's protected under attorney-client privilege. So if the
Could
lawyer
be.
knows where he is
Could be.
and isn't telling the authorities, can't be forced to talk or to tell or be brought up on charges of obstructing justice?
I'm gonna take the fifth on that because I represent similarly situated clients, and,
You're
and
taking the fifth?
I don't want I don't want my what I know and how I would get around that to
Mm.
ever come to light. But but no, us lawyers, we have to say something if we believe that someone is in danger. If we don't report a person.
Okay, so you're protected. You don't have to
Well, I mean,
tell.
here's the thing. Most clients come to me after a crime has been committed. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I mean, you don't call me. I rarely get the phone call saying, "Hey, I'm thinking of shooting someone," because then I'd have to say something.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you should put that on your business card. Not only you're a lawyer, but you're a preemptive lawyer.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, what are you thinking about committing? And let me advise you from that regard. So the client is protected under the attorney-client privileges. The lawyer's protected. So you can tell the authorities, "Hey, I advised him to come in."
Yeah,
But if there's a legal strategy where you can say like, "Nah, nah, don't go to this city, go to that city," you don't have to say anything because you're still. Would you say you're still under the guise of
see, that's
vigorously
that's
defending your
that's
client?
that's the more gray area if you're
Yeah.
actually assisting the suspect evade justice, and that's a little more of that's definitely not something a lawyer wants to get
Right.
involved in.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I think
I
you
think
would.
I think the lawyer would say, "Look, man, I don't want to know where you're at. I just want to let you know that
Right,
if you
right,
turn yourself in, you're looking at a murder charge, okay?
right. The lawyer can say, "Hey, dude, don't tell me anything
Don't
because
tell me
I
because
don't."
if you do, I
Yeah,
could be a potential witness."
right. Do not tell me anything because I don't want to be forced to say something. So if I don't know, then I can't say anything I don't know.
Right.
Gotcha. What do you think's going on there? What do you think from your lawyer hat? What do you think is the guy doing, the family doing? What do you think happened there?
He's dead somewhere. He committed suicide
You think he's
somewhere.
dead?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's dead.
I think so too. The guy's dead. But if you're the family and he just kind of bails, the family isn't like, "No, this guy's going to do harm. Don't let him go." What do you think their mindset was? Just let him go
Hey,
walk into the woods?
it's so hard to say because we'd have to be parents in that situation. You know what I mean? So there's no right or wrong. I don't know what these parents are gonna do.
Yeah. Well, I was watching some legal show on it, and someone posed the question, what if this was your son? He came back, he's like, all right, I got angry, I pushed her off the cliff. I didn't mean to kill her, but she died. What do you do as a family? Do you say, like, no, go turn yourself in, or do you help him get out? And all three of the lawyers and the host had no answer. They all were like, I don't know. And I can totally see as a parent, you're just like, I don't know if I would turn him in. I don't know if I wouldn't turn in my own kid.
I don't know, man. That's tough.
Really tough. Yeah, I don't feel envious for those parents at all. Although they seem to be playing dumb pretty well, but the kid is in danger, or like you said, he's already dead.
Yeah.
So you think he's dead. You think he offed himself or went into those woods full of alligators, which would be a horrible way to go.
Ugh.
Like, all right, I'm done living. I'm going to go into alligator waters.
Right.
Like, don't choose that way.
Right.
Jesus, man. I don't know. It's a weird case, and I didn't see a cause of death from the authorities on how she died. I just know that they ruled it a homicide. But right. I guess, yeah, the moral is 4 months in a van is terrible. Don't ever go 4 months in a van.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeez. Well, that was a very morbid legal ramifications with Omar Carmona. Last up on the docket, Monday night, Philadelphia Eagles at...
I want to do 2 games real quick, but let's do that one tomorrow. What do you got?
Monday...
I want to go. Is it in Dallas?
Philadelphia at Dallas. Dallas is giving 3.5 points.
Dallas 27, Philadelphia 17.
Yeah, I'm Dallas as a winner to cover also. I think Dallas is going to emerge as an NFC East leader, at least for the first half of the season. So I'll go Dallas 21, Philadelphia 10. Dallas is on fire. They're a threat. They're going to win the division as of now. And Dallas all the way. Dallas at home all the way.
All right.
You want to predict a second game? Well, what second game are you talking here?
It's worth a prediction. Next week, I have Tom Brady 31, the New England Patriots 10.
I like how you just called Tampa Bay Tom Brady. 31-10. Wow. Big win. Okay, what's your handshake prediction?
Oh, my handshake prediction, it's going to be a handshake. Bill Belichick is going to start looking away right before Tom actually shakes his hand, so they're not going to lock eyes. And I think it's going to be a very tongue-in-cheek handshake.
Okay. I'm going to go Tom Brady 24, New England 17.
Okay.
And it's going to be one of those games that it's not close, but the score says it's close. But I'm going to say it's going to be a hug with a 1 minute talking between the two. Like, it's going to be like a pat on the back. It's going to be a heartfelt talk that we don't get to hear amidst a lot of media scrum. And I'll say Sunday Night Football right now, NBC, start preparing for the handshake now. Figure out how you can get a camera in there. Figure out how you can get audio in there. That way, you're not just one of the millions of media people.
Hey, how about we see it? Tom Brady and Bill Belichick will agree to a body cam.
Oh, I'd like that. Also, I'm going to go 100-1 prediction that Michelle Tafoya gets broadsided trying to get an interview. She gets knocked down. I'm going to say she goes down because too many media people rush to get the shot and they knock her down. That's a 100-1 pick. Tom Brady wins, big hug, heartfelt moment, and you went with a quick handshake. Tom Brady wins also.
You're good, man.
All right, that was the Sunday Night Talk for Week 3 in the NFL. Omar's distraught. I think you can make it through Monday, though, for next week. Yeah, Raiders are 3-0 for Patrick Ramirez. And the Sunday Night Talk for Omar Carmona. We will see you next week, Week 4. Thanks, Omar.
Take care, bud.
That is it. That is the show. That is week 3. That is Omar from the depths of depression on his Sunday night loss. That is me from the highs of being 3-0. Ha! Las Vegas Raiders 3-0. I don't know how we did it. Just end the season right now. I'll be happy. Just cancel it. 3-0. Who cares? Legal ramifications. Lot was covered there. That's why you need Omar on the mic telling you what's up. We predicted Monday night, and now I cannot wait for the Sunday night NFL game. Tom Brady comes home. What do you think is going to happen? Handshake, hug, no acknowledgement, media scrum, somebody gets a black eye. I don't know. I can't wait. Monday night happening tonight. Philly at Dallas. Always a fun game. Watch that. See if our predictions came true or if we were totally off. Don't forget, October 7th, see me doing stand-up comedy at Flappers Comedy Club. 10 p.m. show. I'll let you know more about it. You can see me live. But for week 3 in the NFL for the Sunday Night Talk, it is me, Patrick Ramirez, and Omar Carmona. Thanks for listening.